All right, today I'm here with two guys, Lance and Zach. Or is it Lance and Zach?
Lance and Zach.
Lance and Zach. All right, cool. I got it right the first time. And did you both serve in the United States?
Yes, sir.
Army, Marines, or Navy?
We're both Army.
Both Army dudes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Are you guys the same age?
Pretty close with them, 4 years, I think.
I mean, you could pass as twins.
We get
you
that
look
a lot.
lot more like I have a brother that's 2 years. We don't look anything alike at all.
No matter where we go, they always say,
I was going to ask you that, but the only difference is one's got a thicker beard than the other. But that, I mean, you guys look very, very similar.
It's good.
And so, anyway, what years did you guys join in? Did you get in?
So I went in 2016, got out right at the beginning of 2020.
So, okay. So you did 4?
Yeah.
By you, sir?
2018 to 2023.
Right on. Did you get hit? Were you in because he went in first, or what?
We didn't know each other before all this.
Yeah, no.
We met here in Springfield.
Really?
Yeah.
After the fact. We were both out already.
Yeah.
And you're just like, hey, wow.
Mm-hmm. He was actually getting out. I was working for a solar company here in Springfield, and I needed a second. And so he was getting out, transitioning out, and he was, trying to be really good about setting himself up.
The transition from
transitioning out.
From private to,
from going from Army
to
into the private sector. Yeah.
Which is a difficult thing to do for some guys. I mean, because especially, it's sometimes, I never served, but I'm very much of a team mentality. Like, I totally understand, like, I would have done really well in the military because that's how I operate and that's how I want to operate. And it's very big a letdown when you get into the real world and you're like, most people aren't like that. They don't work. It's all individualism, and they all want to, how do I get ahead? Screw the team. It's me first, all that stuff. Mm-hmm. So it's a really hard transition when you get into the real world after being with guys that are so like-minded like that. And you're like, oh, wait a minute. I forgot. Not everyone's this way.
Yeah.
So what'd you do in the Army?
So I was in the infantry.
Okay.
Yep, I was actually in Fort Carson.
Oh, so you went to Colorado Springs?
Yes.
Where'd you live at?
I was in the barracks.
Oh, you never went out? You never lived? You're always in the barracks the whole time?
Yeah.
There's a chance that you probably may have saw my mom as a nurse there. It's possible.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because that time period would have been, I think she retired in 1819, so it's possible.
Yeah.
It's definitely possible. I mean, it's funny because she got into the medical field because she just loved being hands-on. She ended up getting hurt, and so she had to go into admin, and she hated it. Because she was like, all I got to do, I'm a mother to all these idiots all day. I hate it. Because that's not what she got into the field for. She went into the field to help people. That's all she wanted to do.
Absolutely.
So that's why she retired. As soon as she got into that, she's like, this isn't what I signed up for. I don't want to do this. What about you, sir?
So, I started off in early 2018, and I was going up to the recruiter's office, and right next door was the Navy, Army.
Yeah.
And I was going into the Navy, and I was like, I saw something cool on the poster of the Army. I was like, I'm going to just walk this way. So I ended up going in there, and they were telling me about all these MOSs. I went and took my test, ASVAB. I scored really high, and I could have done, like, literally almost anything. There's probably a couple things I couldn't have done, but I chose combat medic at first. And a lot of people don't know this, but you have to become a registered EMT.
Yes.
To become a combat medic. Well, I failed that test. Even though it's a whole long story, but I was actually really good at what I did. Like, I passed every test up to that point with a 90 or 100%. But the mental test, I didn't pass. The hands-on test, I passed everything. But anyway, they gave me a bunch of options of what to do, and I was going to become a mechanic because there wasn't anything cool, because my options were a Cav Scout, medic, or like refueler. I was like, well, you know what, I'm just going to fix trucks until I get out, or maybe reclass after that. And my sergeant at the time was like, why didn't you choose Cav Scout? I was like, I don't even know what that is. And he brought me into his office and showed me his Stetson and his spurs that he earned on a spur ride, which is a whole...
Yeah.
It's like an achievement thing that you had to get to... Anyway, I got addicted to the idea. I was like, that's what I need to do. So for like 40 days straight, I was sitting in this room waiting to like get my name called, like, hey, you're ready to go. Those 40 days, I was pestering a sergeant to tell him to retract what my option was, the mechanic, and to put me in as a Cav Scout. I wanted to be a Cav Scout. And he would smoke me every single day. I'd go to his office because he'd tell me that he can't do it, and I said I wouldn't stop. And so for 40 days, and the last day he was like, all right, come with me, because I've sent an email every time you've come. We're going to go talk to this lady. She said, when I walked into her office, she was about ready to send the orders for me to go be a mechanic. But she changed them that last minute. And in 2 days, I left to go to Fort Benning to go be a Cav Scout.
Hell yeah.
So it was like sweet.
Do you think it was kind of a test, like he was testing, to see how because there are a lot of people, it's kind of the adage of everyone wants to be the boss until they have to be the boss.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And the true leaders don't really want it. Mm-hmm. They just know that they have to do it because that is what they're supposed to do.
Yeah.
The leaders aren't about having leaders to be powered for the power. There are some that want it that way. The true leaders don't care. The true leaders look at it as someone needs to direct the group, and that's all leadership role is. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that's awesome. I think that's badass that turned out that way. So did you get your spurs?
Yeah, man.
Hell yeah, badass, man.
A couple of years later, I got my spurs for sure.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
That's badass, dude.
Yeah.
That's super cool. So you got it then.
Yeah, and I still got trained to be a medic. I got the entire training that anyone else would.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I knew all that stuff going in, so it only helped me, man,
Stuff like that blows my mind too, because you hear that story so many times of guys that just test so well, and it's like, oh, man, you had LASIK, you can't be a pilot, sorry. And it's like, God, there's so many little nuances of things that I think if we could just maybe retool the system, it would be better.
Yeah.
But it's kind of one of those things where it's so big now and it's so deep that can it even be changed at this point?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. For example, him and I were both red-green colorblind. And so my original contract had me in to be a jumper, so I would jump out of planes. But it was the last thing we did. We were like, okay, now just one real quick red-green color test. Okay, great, fail. And then I protested it and tried to get their secondary lantern test, fail. So I had to get nixed. I got nixed out of that contract, and it just had to be conventional.
For being colorblind.
Yeah,
which is crazy because as I'm not colorblind, but I do have a really good friend who is, and you can discern the difference.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, at certain points, you really understand it's a shade. It becomes a shade difference. It's not a color difference in your brain. It's just you see different shades almost.
Yeah, I mean, I can be confused if the lighting is just right, But him and I both worked on electrical, so I mean,
I've seen red and green all the time.
Yeah,
dude.
I've seen it.
Hey, wait, don't cut that one.
Yeah, I know the difference.
Yeah.
My platoon sergeant, when I first got to the unit, he was like, "All right, we were going on a training event. Everyone, raise your hand if you're colorblind." And I was like the only one to raise my hand. He's like, "All right, good. You're going to be in front." And I was like, "What are you talking about?" He's like, "Well, you see different than all of us, so I want you to be the first one to look through the woods and because we're small element, we're way smaller than the infantry, like four dudes to a team sometimes, and so I have to be able to pick up the little things if I'm in the front, whereas these other guys, they would see what that enemy was setting up to blend in, where I'm seeing different."
Yeah.
I don't know if that makes sense.
No, it does. It's why you bring things that you normally do to other people just so they have another pair of eyes on it.
Yeah.
It's smart.
Yeah.
It's collaboration. Again, back to the team thing, what the military truly is good at, and I believe that 110%. That in itself is the greatest strength of our military, is the idea of a team. You know what I mean? And the United States is the best in the world in that regard. I mean, you see what's happening in Ukraine with those armies, one that's just falling apart because there is no team mentality.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's like the Spartan versus the Roman legion kind of thing. Those guys hauled off legions because they were a team and they operated as a unit. It didn't matter the numbers. They just operated it better. And I believe that in my heart, that's probably the greatest strength of our military and always will be. So now you guys are out and you have a business called Wash the LZ. What's that all about?
Yeah, we do. This is the end of our first full-time year where we both have, this has been our only form of income.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
So when's the year anniversary?
The year anniversary be, I guess, we passed at because it was October. Yeah.
Did you have a party yet? Where's the company have Christmas party?
I've had a couple of
We're
whiskeys.
working
at
I was
work,
like,
you know,
I mean, come on,
Yeah,
guys.
we've had a couple
You tell your
whiskeys.
wives, hey, we're doing a business trip to Vegas. This is a guys only deal. That's the way it's going to be.
Yeah, that would have been nice. We'd
Good
like to
luck
go
with that.
skydiving.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
That's what
like
we're
our
saving up
dream.
for.
That's cool. You go to the one out, like Skydive Spring. The only one I know is the one out by Mount Vernon.
We've never been.
You know what
never-
I'm talking
we've
about?
never
There's
been.
a field out. I'll tell you real quick. So my best friend did it when we still lived together, right before he moved to Louisville. And same deal, just really wanted to do it, had the money, kind of opportunity came up. And so he went and did it. His girlfriend went with him. Comes back to the house. I'm like, dude, how was it? You have pictures of what? And he just sits down and he goes, I don't know. And I was like, what do you mean? He goes, they put him with someone, the tandem,
Yeah.
smaller than him. And
Oh.
so when they jumped, that cable that attaches his tandem to him basically cut off this vein in his neck. So he blacked out. It choked him out because as soon as they hit the parachute, it
Yeah.
pulled. And he says the last thing we remember is hearing him going, "Okay, buddy, I'm about ready to need you to pull already." And then he said, "I woke up on the ground." That was the last thing.
That's crazy.
That's too bad.
And I was like, did they refund? And he's like, no, it's just the way it goes sometimes. I was like, dude, I would be so pissed if
Yeah.
I gave you $400 or $500 and it's
Take
like,
me again.
I mean, I just,
Right.
yeah, I'd be like, dude, we're going back up and give me a guy taller than me next time, please. Crazy. But anyway, that would be cool. You guys should do that.
Yeah,
You should totally do that.
that's what we're looking into.
I'm not scared of anything. That one thing does scare me though, because it's like I want to have some sort of control in that situation.
Yeah.
And I feel like in that situation, I have absolutely no control whatsoever.
Bungee jumping is, for me, that's more terrifying than skydiving because I don't want to deal with the whiplash.
Yeah.
Oh, the jerk. Yeah.
We'd love to go out and take our pressure washing guns with us and then land on an LZ because it stands for landing
Yeah,
zone.
yeah.
Wash the landing zone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'd be hilarious for us to just jump
good
in with
commercial.
our
That would be pretty
pressure
good.
washing guns.
That will be a good commercial.
It'd be sick.
So if you do it, in here I'll help you make it easier for you. If you get someone to show up with the camera, film the entire thing, and you can write it off as a business expense, and it's a marketing tool. You put it on YouTube. Done.
There you
I
go.
There
like
you go.
that idea.
That's it.
That's genius, Mike.
I mean, that's a marketing that pays for your skydive. I mean, it's gonna be a tax write-off, so
Sure.
it pays. But there you go.
That's genius.
That's what I do.
I never thought of that. Yeah.
That's marketing for you.
Yeah, beautiful.
I'm not going to talk about it. We don't let the IRS know what I do. But I'm all about letting anyone get over on the man as much as they can. So Wash LZ, like pressure washer company, you guys like do
Yep.
decks, driveways,
So-
like house, what?
We
Sure
do
do.
pretty much from the border of your property to the exterior of your home. We wash it all, man. So
Yep.
we clean houses. We do it professionally. You know?
yeah.
We've not, to this day we haven't damaged anything. We take a huge step in making sure we don't do that. And then we'll do driveways, anything concrete we can do, brick, stone, which all have to be treated different.
Yeah.
And then we have a wood restoration process that's actually, nobody here does that right now. We take multiple steps in our washing to where we're actually taking the dirt away from it and not stripping it off with
So you
just
don't
pressure.
mess with the paint, you don't mess with the finish.
Anything. Like we don't, the wood furs a little bit sometimes, it just depends on the wood, but we've done like side by side, like this is how they would do it, this is how we do it. And the furring is just ridiculous. I mean, sometimes it's splinters, sometimes it's like it looks like hair coming off the wood. Ours is so minimal. I mean, you almost go over it once or twice with the sanding paper, and it's gone, completely gone. It looks
That's
like
cool.
brand new wood.
Yeah.
There was even one time we were doing a fence, cleaning a fence. He was replacing the front gate because he was about to sell his house, but he didn't want to replace the whole fence. So we washed the fence, and he replaced the gate. And he got confused and thought that they replaced the whole fence because it
You made
looked so close.
matched. That's awesome.
I mean, brand new wood.
That's
so.
badass. What do you guys do? Because obviously it's colder months. What kind of stuff do you do when it's colder like this?
So lately we were working with a fellow out here that pressure washes too, and he was teaching us how to hang lights. So we're going to start hanging lights next year.
Oh, badass! Hell yeah.
We've got to know a lot of the pressure washers and their outfits out here. You know, we've met all but like maybe two of them.
Okay.
You know, in person, and it's always for the better. You know, it works out to where we're newer to the space as far as being this full time. And it's been nothing but good. At first, we were a little hesitant to get to know the competitors, right? Because you think of them that way.
Yeah.
But it's always turned out for the better.
That's good.
They're
That's good.
tossing
It's
us
not
jobs.
cutthroat.
Yeah. And one of the guys, he's a younger guy, but he'd been doing it longer than we had. And our wood restoration side is, it's pretty top notch and premier when you consider how a normal pressure washer is going to just throw bleach on it, and they're probably going to use higher pressure. We have a two-step solution of a light base and then a light acid wash, and we make sure we don't go over 800 pounds of pressure. So we go through and teach him what we're doing. And this is one of those instances where he took a step back and he was like, okay, I don't feel comfortable doing what I do anymore. I'm just going to give all my wood restoration to you guys until I can get to your level.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
I would assume that it's not such a niche business where everyone is going to need it. So it's not like it's like lawn care. Like there's no reason for dudes fighting over taking. Cause how many yards do we have in the Springfield Metro? You know what I mean? Like
exactly.
How many driveways we got? How many decks we got? How many fences
plenty.
we got? How you live right next to a tree? You're going to probably need to power wash that house at least once a year. I live in a park. I do it every year. Have to. I have to.
There's
green. My
plenty
house
of work.
turns green if I don't do it.
Exactly.
Yeah, decks, gutters, everything.
Sure.
Yeah. Anyone that's asked us how to do it, we just tell them, hey, watch this video, and they usually don't go any further than that because it's a lot of research.
Oh, yeah.
We've put 2 years of research into this before we really even went full time.
Yeah.
That's badass.
Yeah.
So So like I mentioned earlier, normal pressure washers, they'll just throw bleach on wood. We outsource our material from Arkansas and get 2 separate solutions. That way we make sure we're not damaging it.
Yeah. Because that ultimately is the goal, is to make it look better than it did when you got it.
Exactly.
It preps it better for the stain too, which we also stain. So
Yeah,
that's cool.
We wash, we stain, we seal.
That's awesome. Well, if anyone wants to get a hold of you guys, where's the best way to go?
So we have a website, washthelz.com.
Cool.
We also have a Facebook page, and you can call us at 636-542-1020.
Badass. Well, guys, thank you so much for your service. Thanks for coming to lunch with me today, and good luck on shooting your skydiving commercial.
Awesome.
We'll give you a call, let you know how it turns out.
I hope you do.
Yeah.